main fascinations over the past few months is the functional fitness. And today I invited a guest that I find very interesting from India. So Nithin, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How are you, Dean?
I'm great, thank you. Basically, the weather calmed down a bit here. We had heat wave, so it was... I don't know, do you use Celsius for temperature?
Yes, we use, we use Celsius.
Yes.
We use Celsius, and we use kg for weight, and we use kilometers for speed. Okay, not much.
Oh, really? Yeah, India is heaven. All right, I like that. I will promote India. All right, I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I'm always confused with those, with the British guys and the US guys, pounds or feet. Anyways, so okay, we are on the same page, and we had here, we had 43 Celsius for 10 days and more. And for Greece, it's a little bit too hot here. So it was. It is. Yeah. By the way, what is your weather there? What is your climate right now?
Right now, it's the monsoon season. So although the rains are not so strong, it's only during the night. So during the day, it's really humid, sticky weather now. Sticky and wet. Sticky because it's humid and wet because of the rain. So
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I've heard about it. I've read about it. That's great because I want to ask you a thing, and I'm going to share a few images from your Instagram as I do with many other interviews. Before we get into the specifics of what you do with your exercise and your fitness schedule, I like that you basically do your exercise outside and barefoot. So can you please explain why you do that?
The reason why I do barefoot is because first of all, I would suggest if you're doing the outdoors on grass or on sand and it's not a public place. If it's in a closed gym, I would say wear shoes because it's only because it's hygienic. Yeah. But if you're doing outdoors, like in my own area, it's my own home, my own garden, go barefoot because the earth has a lot of energy to give you, positive energy. And secondly, our shoes restrict our toes from spreading. Our toes are supposed to be a bit spread, so we get more balance, we get more blood flow. With shoes, it tightens your blood flow, it restricts your blood flow. You tend to get knee pains a little bit, you tend to get back pains and knee pains. So our foot health is very important. It's the first thing which touches the ground from our body. It's the first thing our body touches. The first thing which touches the earth is our feet. So foot health is very important. And when you keep wearing shoes, what happens is the gap between your toes is shrunk. So then what happens is your body balance is reduced because let's say if your fingers are wide open, you get much more balance when your fingers are wide open. If you close it, less stability. So let's say if it's like a car, the wider the tire, the more balance, the more stability for the car, road grip. The more narrow the tire, less stability. Same thing with our feet. So I always promote working out without your shoes if you're doing outdoors in a very clean area, nature, greens, yes. If it's in a public gym, wear shoes because other people sweat, other people wear shoes. It's just more hygienic with shoes in a public area. That's it. Yeah.
All right. More or less I agree because I do the same here in Greece, and I'm going to the park. Basically, I'm living in an apartment, so I don't have the luxury, I would say, of a garden, of my own garden, which I love to do in the near future. But I go to the park, and I'm probably the only guy that I'm doing barefoot exercise and without my shirt. Is there in India, any culture that many people in your area are doing like you?
Like if you're talking about bare feet or you're talking about fitness?
Yeah, bare feet without a shirt, exercise.
Okay. In my area, basically, I'm based south of India. So if you're working if you're based in a farm area, like in the villages, people grew up without wearing shoes. So only reason being, they're just so used to without wearing slippers. They walk around, they're so used to it. It's natural over here. But if you're in the city, people wear shoes because it's dirty. People spit, there's the car oil, there's bike oil, it's just dirty. But in the village areas, it's much cleaner, less pollution. You're talking about lesser people littering because in the city you could see glass bottles, glass things, so it's not safe. But in the village, it's much safer. And another reason why we don't wear shoes is because our feet has acupuncture points, these acupressure. So these pressures get triggered in your thing, and these help you in the blood flow. So if you talk about in India, yes, a lot of people wear shoes, a lot of people don't wear shoes, but you'll find the people who don't wear shoes are mostly based outside the city because it's safer.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own, I think my own grandfather, he wasn't wearing shoes when he was on the vineyard. You know, we here in Greece, we have lots of vines, so grapes, you know, making wine and stuff, making olive oil. So we have that kind of crops, lots of them, and we have others too. We have fruits, etc. And I remember my grandfather, I think, because he's a farmer, he was a farmer.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing shoes when he was there, and sometimes he wasn't wearing shoes here in the home. And you know, my grandmother used to, you know, to tell him to wear shoes, and it was embarrassing, supposedly. But I agree with you. You know, I don't know exactly about the acupuncture, about this point.
Or acupressure.
Acupressure, sorry. So you said about energy, about barefoot, about the energy of the earth. Can you know, say a few things about the energy, about these points? Do you know any how they work exactly?
So when it comes to the technical terms, I don't know. These are just terms which I have, let's say, experienced and let's say learned from my grandmother, my grandfather, because they were farmers as well. They educated, but they were farmers as well, because their parents were farmers. So I'm like the 6th generation who's a farmer now. Yeah. So talking about acupressure and earth's energy. Earth's energy, really, I don't know much, but I can tell you one thing. I used to wear, when I started my fitness career when I was 16, 17, back that time I used to join the gym. I was so used to wearing shoes. If you compare those days and if you compare to my fitness now, the energy levels of working outdoors barefoot is way different. It's so, always energizing. You'll always get fresh air. It's not air conditioned. When it comes to acupressure, I'm not so, let's say, I don't know much about it when it comes to technology, but I do feel the difference because I don't have knee pains, I don't have back pains, and then I have more stability. So yes, these are things I will tell you which I know.
Yeah, I like that because, you know, I'm not the guy that tries to interrogate other people about being super scientific.
Yeah.
There are people out there.
I'm not a doctor, so I'm not a doctor, so I will not say what I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. What I love about people is being honest and especially offering our experiences. You know, sometimes I get the same questions like what I asked you right now. So I get the same questions because I try to tell people about, you know, being barefoot and how great it feels. So there is some science about earthing, you know. I've read a few books about it. I read a few studies, not that many. There aren't many studies on that, and I think there's no intention from the great mass of people. So from most people, it doesn't make any sense for them to go barefoot. But I like, you know, I think that you and me and others that are doing these things, I think we are reaching inside in our intuition and how we feel with the earth. And yes, I can tell you from my own experience, I'm barefoot and, you know, without shirt here for 4 years. And every year is a little bit better. First, it was my mood. I was less depressed. Then, you know, my knee pain lessened. I started being more agile. I started feeling better. So, you know, sometimes I don't think that science or the scientific process can explain everything, or at least
everything,
for now. And I think that's what most people love about India, or at least, of course, India is huge. It's a great continent.
It's huge,
And you know,
continent,
it's a continent. Most people think that it's, you know, just a country, but it's huge, you know.
It's huge.
But many Westerners, that's why they love some parts of India, because you guys seem to be a little bit more intuitive than the Western world. Is that true?
So I'll say from this side of the world, from what I see. So what I see is the Western world, yes, you have a lot of them here. They come here, they go do their rejuvenation spas, the retreats, where they connect to the nature. Yes. So when it comes to the people here, honestly speaking, now people here are getting more into the Western side, where they're getting into the style, they're getting to wear shoes, they're getting to the really fashion world. So, but then you do have a segment where they make style with nature. Like you're talking about nice linen, cotton, recyclable materials. They make it, they wear it. So those that is another segment as well. I think that segment is more about nature, peace, your inner health. But then you have the other ones where you care about your brand, you care about what people think about you, your fashion statement. So yeah, so you have both. You have both, but I can see a growth in nature loving people, nature branded people, make like recycling nature and making into like fashion statement. It's good. It's coming up. It's coming up. You have many small, innovative people. Yeah, there is. It's growing.
Sounds like good news. So yeah, India is very, brings a lot of hope for many Westerners. And I think, you are, in a sense, in our minds, at least for the Western world, you are a beacon of hope in some aspect regarding these things, nature and intuitive. So changing a little bit our subject, let's talk about the fitness stuff.
Okay.
So first of all, you are indeed shredded. I've seen your pics, and I see you now. You are jacked. 2 questions. Do you do steroids?
Okay. So I don't believe in artificial supplements or muscle juice or steroids. Zero. So I eat whatever I want. See, when people talk about calorie deficit diet, yeah. So I would say I haven't stopped what I eat. I just work out more. Yeah. So my intake is still the same, but maybe I burn more than what I eat. So I haven't reduced what I eat. So let's take it that way.
Do you measure your calories and your macronutrients and stuff?
Nothing. I don't do all that. I don't track my calorie intake. I don't track my calorie burn, but I do show it on my stories because my clients sometimes they are concerned about how much calories do you burn with this session and this. So then I do have I don't know if you're of the MyZone app, which I do wear it once in a while just to promote how much calories this kind of fitness burns. But I don't track my calorie intake. So I believe in more like eat what grows around you. Okay. So what I eat here may not grow in Greece. What I eat here may not grow in America. The reason why I say eat what grows around you is because this will help you adapt to the weather around you. That's why you have your seasonal fruits, your seasonal vegetables. So the meaning when you eat that fruit during that time, that will help you adapt to that weather. If it's hot, you get mangoes. Eat the mango, your body will adapt to that weather. And when it comes to nutrition, I'm not going to be biased. I'm not going to boast about Kerala. In general, we have a farming state. We have a lot of nutritious food, And our farmlands are huge here. And there's a lot of farmers. And we have a lot of local markets. So our nutritional, I would say, don't take your nutrition through supplements by pills. Take it through your food. Your kidney can handle it. You take it through pills, your kidney cannot handle it. Then you'll have to take a pill to clean up your kidney. So don't overwork your kidney. Eat. Let your nutrition come from your food and it'll go out. When you have to go to the toilet, it'll go out. The excess will go out. But it's natural. Don't take supplements. I'm also against chemicals and supplements and medicines and doctors in general. So eat as much you want. Eat as much you want, but work out more. So then you can enjoy your food. If you're going to keep eating and you don't burn it, your stomach is it cannot process, it cannot digest the food. And then what happens? You get cholesterol, you get sugar. You're not doing anything about it. The main question is supplements and injections and steroids. No, please don't do that. Be natural, be organic. So if you look at my, I look shredded, but I'm not jacked. My weight right now, my weight right now is 58 and my height is 5.8. So 5 feet 8 inches. Yeah. So I look jacked, but if I stand next to a bodybuilder, I look really thin. If I wear my clothes, I look very loose. It's all loose.
Okay. So you said, how many kilos are you?
Right now, I'm 57, 58 kilos. Yeah. 57, 58 kilos.
And you are 5'8".
Yes.
Is that correct? Wait, so you are 170 centimeters around?
Yeah, you can say, around 71, 71.
More or less, yeah. I'm a little bit taller than you. I'm 5'9", but you don't seem, you carry muscle mass. So, and you say you are 58, 57 kilos.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
So probably to be that shredded like you, I probably have to be 60 something kilos, 65.
I would
Okay.
say it's not only my workout, my lifestyle is in the field. I
Yeah,
do a lot
yeah.
of plowing with the shovel. So there's not only my workout, it's my lifestyle. So I'm always burning. Yes. So when you say shredded farmer, so that's why the farmer came there, and I'm shredded because of my workouts plus my farming. So I get really shredded. But I eat a lot. When people see me eat, like, where does this go? I said, it goes as sweat. It goes as because I burn it. You know?
Yeah,
Yes.
you make it basically to muscle. So that's
Yeah.
and you burn it, of course. Yes, for energy.
When it
Yeah,
comes to supplement, yes, I did try supplements. This is back when I was in my college days, when I was doing bodybuilding. I wasn't educated about fitness back then. So it's all about looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger, then you're looking at Sylvester Stallone. You look at these guys like, oh wow, you're jacked. What do I do? So then I'm young. I want something. I wanted fast results. Yeah, I'm in college. I want people to look at me. You know what I'm saying? So back then, yes, I was taking supplements. Let's say I was taking supplements from the age of 18 till the age of 28. Protein was always been my thing. Protein shakes, and you have your amino pills. Then you have BCCA, this, that. And then it's like you're always energized. You don't get enough sleep because you're always, your hormones is always like kicking in and thing. Your testosterone levels is high, but you're not putting it into the right use. 2018, I came back here, stopped all that. I was 33 years old when I came back here. 33 years old. And then got into the whole organic life, organic thing. Like, how much more are you going to track of your intake? How much more are you going to this thing? Because then I was living here, living with my grandmother. I'm looking at my workers, they're working in the fields and they're so ripped. They're so fit. They're older than me. They're like 55, 56, some are even 60. And they're still working because they've been doing this since their childhood. They were working. They're so ripped and fit. They don't lift weights. They lift sacks. They lift sacks of rice. They lift sacks of, let's say, wheat. So a lot of plowing. So then I thought, oh my God, let me do this, Yeah. And then, And always swinging the mace and the thing was always been my thing. I always learned with the hammer, the tire slams, rotational movements. These, yes, they started when I was 24, 25 years old, the rotational movements, the tire slams and stuff. And then slowly, a lot of R&D, a lot of reading, and then got into it. But you can say, yes, I did take supplements, but stop them. From experience, I'm saying it, stop them. You don't need it.
Okay, it's great. I have to connect you probably. Do you know Tom Barnett from Australia?
I don't know him, but I would love to know him.
I'm going to connect you with him because he's saying the same things. He's a practitioner from PolSec. He has got his certification from PolSec, and he's saying basically more or less supplements. He was homeless at some point and he stopped supplements because he couldn't afford it. And then he saw that he was better. His healthcare improved.
Yeah.
And he was fascinated because how come? And I paid so much money to get my supplements. And now that I don't have money, I get better health.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, Nithin, I'm really, I'm not yet 100% on this. I don't know myself personally, I use a few supplements. I don't use many for now. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to use a few supplements in the future. I don't know for how long, because I don't have access yet to the best food. I'm not yet financially, I don't live in a rural area, so I'm kind of, my food is half and half, so what I take personally is omega-3, magnesium, and vitamin C for now. And that's all I take for now. Before we get into the swinging, because I love the history, the backstory of that, let me tell you about my grandfather and my grandmother. So my grandfather, from the side of my father, the farmer, he died at 92. He was pretty healthy until he was in his late 80s. And he was strong as heck until his late, I remember he was in his mid 80s and he would wake up at 5:30, 6 a.m. and he would leave the house before anyone was awake. And he was going to the fields and he was working there for 4 or 5 hours and then come back every day. And of course, he didn't track his calories, he didn't track his macros, and he didn't have any exercise equipment in the middle of nowhere in southern Greece. And the same holds true for my grandmother from the side of my mom. So she was up in the mountains. So northwest of Greece, there is a county called Epirus. It's very mountainous. So it's mountains and mountains and mountains. Very cold area, the village, very hardy people there. Living there because they had animals, but you couldn't grow a lot of fruits, you couldn't grow a lot of
so the animals come in.
So there were a few animals, eggs, hens, and they were trading with the city. So there is the city of Ioannina, a city with a few kilometers. And I remember my mom is always saying that my grandmother is now 90. But back in the day, she used to walk every day 10 to 15 kilometers, at least. And there were days where the children were sick, and she had to go 30 kilometers to the city and 30 kilometers back. In a couple of days. When I hear that, I'm a soft, almost millennial guy. So when I hear that, I'm cringing. I cannot even fathom walking so much. I could die probably. I tried it once when I was a teenager. I tried to do the same, just for the experience, and I couldn't do it. I froze. And my not surprisingly, my grandmother, just like my grandfather, she's super strong, so it's almost laughable. She can lift 40 kilos in her 80s. It's what you said exactly about your own people there. It's the strength of the human. When you do so many repetitions and you do many moves, you don't really have injuries. I will stop talking, but one last thing I'm going to say before I ask you something. I see people in the internet being obsessed about counting macros, calories, and about doing exact diets, and about taking, like you said, a lot of supplements and doing exact things, and they try to do it to live up to their 100-year-old. And I see I see my grandmother and my grandmothers and fathers who lived, most of them live up to their hundreds, centenarians. So if you can imagine, these guys, they didn't have no doctors up in the mountains, in the village, no doctors, trust me.
And they didn't track their food.
Dude, if they had food, they were fasting half of the time. So tracking food would be losing calories just to track the food. It wasn't efficient. And they just worked. So and of course they were swinging weights. It was necessary to do moves that aren't exact, aren't horizontal or vertical 100%.
Vertical,
Yes.
You mean left, right, up, down? No,
exactly.
Around, like a circular.
Yes,
rotational.
They were using but there was another way. If you go to my place, to my village up in the mountains, there is no stable area. Everything is weird. Stand. You have to be able to stand in a weird
balance.
place. Balance, exactly. So how did you come? So you were a young guy looking up to the strong dudes like I was back in the day. And how did you change your mind to go to more things? And
rotational. So basically, let's say when I was 24 and stuff, I was big. I was bodybuilder, like, the whole thing of getting jacked. But the thing is that I was so stiff. I had no balance. If someone pushed me, I would fall because I had no balance. I looked big. I looked strong. People wouldn't want to mess with you. But same time, if they pushed me, I would fall because I had no balance. My body balance was literally, you can say, zero, worse than a baby. My joints were always stiff. I was getting injured, lifting, grinding, because the whole mentality in the gym, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's just my thing, or maybe it's the gym I grew around with. It's all about how much can you lift? Can you lift heavier? 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds. And you keep doing it because that's what you're seeing. That's what you're growing and watching every time. And then eventually I just got injured. I used to get really stiff knees, knee pains, locked shoulders. I was like, what am I doing? Am I really strong? And then you have your chest day, your back day, your tricep day, your arms day. So I was just thinking about this, in life, you use our whole body every day. You don't just use your biceps one day. You don't just use your back one day. So It didn't really make sense to me. So then I started watching some of these Hindi movies, the Indian movies. The bad guy always had the best body. The bad guy always was doing these kind of workouts. I was like, what's that? Like, why is he so strong? Why doesn't people mess with him? It's only the hero. But the hero always wins. I'm sure if you watch Hindi movies, the hero always wins, no matter what. No matter how strong the big guy is, like, they always win. So anyways, that is always, thank God I knew about it. But then I used to look at the fitness level, like, of why he's doing that kind of movement, the rotational movements in his exercises. So that got me really curious. And then slowly reading R&D, I knew like our bodies were meant to move in all directions, not up, down, or left, right, or not front, back. We can move diagonally. We can move like any direction. We have to have good balance. Our human body is so well made, like you have your animal flow now, where we can do animal movements. That's how good our bodies are. If you ask a tiger, can he do a monkey's movement? No, he won't be able to do it. But a human can do all those movements. It just got to me like, what the hell am I doing? Okay, I look good, but am I really fit? I'm not. So these are things which saw injuries, stiffness is what got me into these kind of movements. Reading about it, rotational movements, especially let's start with the hammer, how I started with the hammer. The whole swinging thing, it actually pulls your joints, pushes it back. Pulls your joints, pushes it back. It just got me thinking like, if I had a dislocation, what would happen? The doctor would pull my joint and push it back. So then it got me all added up. There was like a hammer, if you swing it, what happens? Your joint is getting pulled, and when you're up, it's getting pushed back in. When you're down, your joint is getting pulled by the gravity and the weight. Here, the gravity weight is pushing your joints back in. So it all got to me. And then when it came to the balance part, when swinging it, the hammer's pulling you there. So you have to keep your feet strong, rooted to the ground. It makes your ankles stronger because you have to balance. You have to balance. So when people say, oh, your lower body doesn't look as much as the upper body, but the reason being because I'm using it as a functional thing. I'm not a bodybuilder. So if you ask me, can you balance? Yes, I have good balance because my balance is up according to my upper body. And it is well defined, but it is not jacked. It's not jacked. So if you see my quads and stuff, it's not jacked up like my thing, but balance, yes. Your knees are not as strong as your upper body. So you have to be light for your knees. You have to be light to rotate. You have to be light to get energy. Only then you can move. If you're light, you can move around. If you're heavy, you're just adding weight, pressure to your joints. You're straining your joints. So these are the ways, what I learned through experience. I did it my own way. And I did a lot of reading. I did these, I don't know if it's even valid or not. I did a lot of these online courses just to learn about the human body, about to be a personal trainer. That's it. But if you ask me, and I learned a lot more through experience because I got injured. I used supplements. I stopped it. I rehabilitated myself. And now here I am, through past experience. Yeah.
I liked your explanation. Two things I will add is that, first of all, I have a friend here. He's a champion in kettlebells, but he's not doing the fitness kettlebells, Nithin. So he's doing the sport kettlebells. So the sport kettlebells, there's a major difference, both in technique and in philosophy. And this guy, before I go into the more, how the sport kettlebell works and why I'm telling you this guy, Pavlos, he's shredded like you, but he's not super jacked. So his legs exactly are not like, bodybuilder or something. He is shredded, yes, for his frame, but he's not huge, he's not
huge.
And I've seen other people he's a champion, world champion 11 times, and world record holder 3 times. So he's one of the top guys in the sport, in the kettlebell sport, where he competes with very strong people from Russia, from Ukraine and stuff. And he tells me that all the people are the same physique. So the physique is not massive. So the physique is flexible and strong, and very strong. So, and that's where people mess up, I think, Nithin. So they think that strength is muscle mass, and there is a great distinction between mass and being strong, because my grandmother is super strong. So she's elite strong level. She could easily be in the Olympics, easily. If she had the ability to go, she didn't have any ability because, our country is, it's not very developed. But if she would be there. And she's not, you know, you don't see a superwoman. You know, sometimes when I open my Instagram, I see these girls right now, this woman, and they are, you know, ripped and with huge shoulders. And I mean, it doesn't seem to me natural. And you go, for example, you go to populations that are very primitive, you know, and I say primitive, you know, in the jungle. These people are shredded to the bone, but they are not massive, but they are very strong.
They're not massive. You know what? They can take a beating. They're very durable. They can take this. They can take a beating. You hit them, you push them, they will still stand up. You know, they can take a beating. You know, that's strong. That is strong for me. Not show. No, that is strong for me. So there's different kinds of strong. Looking visibly strong and taking a beating and standing up, another strong. That is strong for me. Yeah.
And you know, I've got. I always remind me about strength because I was in a seminar about. I learned the strength first technique. Do you know strong first kettlebells?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically a company from Pavel Tachulin. So Pavel Tachulin is a Russian guy that brought kettlebells. Supposedly, he brought them to the USA, and he developed a technique, you know, and he makes people certified to his technique. I was in a full-day seminar from guys here in Greece that are certified as coaches from the technique.
From his, okay.
Yeah, and they gave me this. I don't know if you can. Strong
first. Okay.
And I always wear it, and it reminds me that's great. A great gift I got, and it reminds me, you know, to always focus not on my physique, but on my agility and my strength, and that's what matters really. So okay, you got into that training, you know, you started having injuries, and you said, okay, fuck it, something doesn't work well. And you got into the Bollywood, I guess, and you saw these villains.
The movies.
Yeah, and by the way, I never saw an Indian movie, but they seem great from the trailers. They seem very fun. They seem fun. At some point, I'm going to probably download or something. I don't know. You can probably send me some, you know, if you know.
I will. I'll think of some good. If you want a pure action movie, because the Indian movies are more a lot of love. We have a lot of love movies and a lot of action movies where one guy can take down like a lot of people. I will not say numbers.
It's fantastic. It's literally fantastic. It's beautiful. All right. So, and what happened next? So, how did you proceed exactly? So, you said about the hammer. So, what did you bought? Did you create yourself tools? How did you proceed?
So, when I was 24, that was when I was back in Dubai. I didn't have these tools, which is the mudguard and the gada, which I use now. Back then, that was only available in India because it's Indian traditional tools. But I got myself used to a hammer. I taught myself with the hammer, the whole swinging, the rotational movements. It took me quite some time because a lot of reading and practical work by myself. Because still right now, there is no certified training for the mudguard or the gada, which I use. There is schools, but they don't give you certificates. They just teach you and go. That's it. Then you're on your own. You know the technique. There is still no certified this thing. This is my future thing, to start a boot camp for this, workshops for this in India, all over India. So then when I said 2018, when I came back, then I got hold of one, a proper one. It felt very different from a hammer. The grip is like, at least you're talking about 2-inch diameter. So the grip is like really fat grip because the grip is so thick. Imagine carrying something so thick and swinging it, and the dimensions are so different. So since I knew the technique, I could do it. But because of the dimensions, the swing feel was very different. It just makes you have really good elbows. Your elbows become huge. Your forearms become huge. Your shoulders become huge. You need always to be core engaged, because then I thought of myself as Thor. I don't know if you know the Hollywood actor Thor. It just reminded me of him, and I was just getting stronger. And the thing was that the more reps I do, I feel the pain, I feel the thing then. But next day, I'm not sore anymore. My joints are elastic. My joints are so loose. Like if you go to a gym and lift weights, that's the whole thing about 2-dimensional movements and 3-dimensional movements. 3-dimensional movements is rotational. 2-dimensional movements is front, back, left, right, up, down. These focus on muscle. 3-dimensional focus on joints with muscle. So you can move around with a pumped up body, with mobility, with flexibility. As soon as I started, I just got stronger. I used to be happy every day. I used to wake up like, oh, let me do some more today. I started off with 500 reps, went up to 1,000, kept going, kept going, kept going. One day I reached 5,000, kept going, kept going. Now I do 10,000 reps a day. That's my daily target. Daily, that's my goal now. 10,000 reps a day.
So
I
how do you
count
count?
easily. So
Yeah.
I count is basically I do 10,000 reps in, let's say, 4 sets. So how I do it is basically, so I have clients as well. So on the days when I have clients and sessions, my reps goes with them because I work out with my client. But when it comes to me alone, there's this thing called pyramid set. So pyramid set is you start out with 20 reps, stop for 10 seconds. Then you go up to 40 reps, stop with 10 seconds, go up to 60 reps. So you go all the way till 200 or 300. And the moment you reach your peak, then you come back down. So let's give a simple example. Let's do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and come back down. 40, 30, 20, 10. Let's do the math together then. 10 plus 20 is 30. 30 plus 30 is 40. 10 plus 20 is 30. 30 plus 30 is 60. 60 plus 40 is 100. And then we reach another 50, which is 150. And then you come back. Then you come back adding the reps as well. So altogether, let's say 100 from this side, 100 from this side. That's already 200 plus your 50. That's 250 reps already. So you can create your own pyramid sets. So I can do my 10,000 in 4 pyramid sets. I do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way till 250. And I come back down. So that comes up to, for my calculation, what I remember is around 2,500, something like that. It's 2,000 plus for sure. So it finishes in 4 sets. It's done. And it motivates you as well because you keep going up. And then what happens is when you come down, your mental block is gone because you're going down. So it plays with your muscle memory. So yeah, it works for me. That's how it works for me. So if you ask me, how do I keep track? This is the way I keep track. Pyramid sets. The only way how I keep track.
Okay, interesting. By the way, I saw from your Instagram that besides swinging, you do a few other exercises for your strengthening your core and stuff. Can you share?
Yes. So I do body weight workouts like calisthenics, pull-ups, push-ups, dips. So I made my own I built my own like a calisthenics area. So
did you build that on your own?
Yeah. So what I did was I bought the material from the shop and then I saw YouTube videos on how to make your own. So I did it by myself. Yeah. And then I did it by myself. So that was a lot of work, relaxing my mind, creating something, a lot of digging, planning. It's very, what do you say? Why let someone else have the fun? I can do it myself, I like building things by myself. If it's something I don't know, if it's really, let's say, a lot of not body involved, a lot of not tools involved, then I don't like it. I give it to someone else. But I like building my own things.
That's pretty much, that's a great thing. I think we lost that art, building stuff. I remember my father was talking about when he was young, growing up in the village in the middle of nowhere. They didn't have any money to buy toys and stuff. So they built it themselves. So little children, like 7, 8 years, 10 years old, they were building little cars from wood and from, things that people were throwing. And they were, racing with their own cars or little cars.
Yeah.
I find it, again, as the soft millennial, I find it that like it's another planet. Like what? I'm not used to that, but I think that, I myself, I'm a painter, amateur, but I paint to relax my mind sometimes. And I understand what you say, I think for a man, when he creates, he's relaxed. Or when you get a lot of physical work. So these two things.
I learned all this basically when I came back in 2018. I became more self-sustainable, more skilled, because then what happened was, then COVID happened. COVID actually made me very sustainable, self-sustainable. I did my own plumbing. I did my own electrical work, self-experimentation, because you can't call people over, because you can't call workers, maybe you'll spread the coronavirus. And then growing my own food was amazing. I didn't have to leave my compound. I had my own food to eat. I made my own workout stuff. So for me, COVID was a blessing in disguise. I used it in the right way, kept a positive mind, and that's how I did it.
I like people when they see the coin from the other side, because there's always another side. And I think there is a phrase in Greek which it's kind of the same like in the Chinese yin yang. In Greece it's called ουδέν κακό αμυγές καλού, which means there's nothing bad, it doesn't have any good inside. So you can always find the silver lining in everything you do, or it happens to you. It doesn't matter, I'm developing the same responsibility right now, because I myself, I got much more muscular during the COVID time than before. And I surprised myself because I couldn't be in gyms. I couldn't walk very easily because there were cups all around, a little bit fastest. And yet I developed more agility, more power, more strength. And I think that, some people, adversity, sometimes I think that it's necessary in a way, or especially for males, to strengthen us, to make us focused, to focus our minds. Not all of us, because I think some people get desperate, and they were always designed to get desperate. I think that's my evolutionary explanation. But I think that some of us will get laser focused, and that's what it happened to me too. And I guess as it seems it happened to you too.
I used it to my full advantage to it.
I want to ask you about the farming stuff. How did you do the transition? Let's talk a little bit about farming and about growing your own food. How did you do the transition? And what do you farm?
Okay, so this has always been my ancestral land. So this is like my family house. So it's one of those things, it was always there. Our ancestors did it. My grandparents' parents did it. My grandparents' great-parents did it. So it's always been there. So when I came here, I got locked down, and I was always into the whole new thing of I want to learn something new. My mind was open. So I was always sitting with my grandmother. She's old. She's still, bless her, she's 92. So she's my nutritionist right now. So I listen to her, and she teaches me everything about how to grow from the root till it's become a tree. So food has never been a waste. So even if you're food waste, like what we eat right now, let's say the eggshells itself can even be used for the plants because it decomposes. It's used as a fertilizer. We don't use fertilizers. We use your onion skin, your garlic skin. All these things are used for fertilizers. Then we have cows. So the cow dung, the piss, everything is used for the fertilizers. So these things slowly, just like sitting with her and experiencing it in front of me, I just started enjoying it. And to do that transition, trust me, you'll have to block yourself out a lot of from distractions. If I say from friends, family, social media, you have to go with an open mind, block your distractions, get away negative energy, get away negative people, whatever it is going to be hard. You'll be missing for some time, but when you come back, they will understand, oh, why now he's back as a new person. There's a reason why. So I did this. I blocked out all my distractions. I blocked out a lot of friends, not in a bad way. It's only because that I want to be focused. But now when they see me, I'm back, they're like, oh man, he's a different person. There's a reason why he's back. So you ghost yourself, learn something, come back. People say, okay, there's a reason why. It's a very good explanation. He's not mentally depressed, or he's not, he didn't do anything bad. It's good for you in a good way.
And what do you grow? So what do you grow? Fruits and stuff?
Okay, so we have fruits and vegetables. So some of the, let's say the ones which I know in English, which I would say is ginger, there's garlic. We have mangosteen as fruits, then mangoes, pineapples, coconuts. We have a lot of coconut trees, bananas. Then when it comes to vegetables, bitter gourd, ash gourd. I don't know some of the names. Then beans, we have beans. I don't know the English name, so I'm still very bad with my native language. So I don't know how to translate it back to English. But I would say around 58 items, fruits and veggies, and it's all seasonal. So we grow them, we cultivate, and then we sell it to the local market. So there's understanding. So the local market is always buying fruits and veggies from a local market is the best thing you can do because it's your local people, local farming. They don't exhaust the soil. They use natural stuff. So it's good. It's really good to buy from local farms or local markets. The moment you go to a big fancy supermarket, you have international brands coming in where you don't know where's the food coming from. But here, you're growing your own food, so you know what's going into your mouth. Oh, we have carrots as well, cucumbers, cabbage, chilies, potatoes, yam. So there's a lot more,
Yeah, you have a lot. I'm impressed. So I like what you said. I also support the local economy, and I think it's the proper way to go. And what you said about soil, one quick thing, I read a book now, Nithin, so it's called The Worst Hard Time. Basically, it's telling about the Midwest of, I think it's the Southwest or the South Plains of USA. So it was back in the early 20th century, around 1920s, and they had very big problems with dust. So they had a lot of dust in the air, and lots of people died and suffocated, and a lot of animals. They had basically like imagine dust like rain. It was
Like a
so
sandstorm?
thick.
Oh, rain.
Yeah,
Oh,
sandstorms.
okay.
Yeah, it was like sandstorms, and they weren't used to that, and a lot of crops died out. A lot of animals died out. A lot of people had problems with their lungs
Yeah,
for many years,
yeah, yeah.
and it was basically because they destroyed the land. So they didn't, take care of the topsoil. They did a lot of monocropping without regenerating the land, and the land basically died out in a matter of less than a century. And I don't know if you read history, but the same thing happens in many civilizations where they take advantage of the land and of the topsoil,
Yeah.
but they don't give back, so they don't
They don't give back.
regenerate, and the whole land dies out. If you can imagine, basically Mesopotamia and Iraq, it wasn't always a sandy place, and the same holds true for Egypt and Northern Africa. There were
Yeah.
many people saying back in ancient times that these were fertile lands, fertile landscapes.
Yeah, fertile land. The moment you use chemicals, it's like same thing. If you use supplements, you will have to deal with it later in your life. Same thing with fertilizers and chemicals. You will have to deal with it later, in your life with the land as well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's probably the hardest ways, the better way to go, and that is to learn how to grow food and to take care of the land. And if you do that, and you eat a whole diet and basically an organic diet, a rich diet, then probably most of our problems will go away. But people want the easy fix.
No, it's true. I don't blame them, because if you live in a city, you're really busy. You're really busy with the work and the daily life, socializing, and then suddenly if you have to think about my nutrition, then a pill is much easier than looking for the food. So I don't blame them. But if you want to be, let's say, rich, I would say grow your own food. You're a rich person if you grow your own food. Trust me. You exactly know what's going in your body.
Exactly. I totally agree. So where people, where can they find you and your exercises, which are great?
You have my Instagram, like how you found me. And there's a link as well in my Instagram bio. There's a link in the bio where you can get all your workouts and your tools, where to buy them. It's all made from, I stick to wooden tools and not steel or thing, only because wood is decomposed. It can decompose. Wood is healthy if you touch it. Wood, every different kind of wood has a medicinal value giving to you, to your body in small doses. You can Google it per wood. Everything has their own thing. But the touch of wood is really good for you. It's not steel. There is no rust. There is no metal as rust. Plastic cannot decompose. So wood, it can decompose. It can touch your skin. It's fine. You don't have to get a tetanus shot. It is healthy. It's organic. It's always good. So my way of using social media is I want to bring back the traditional fitness back. I want to bring it with a swag, with some style. People should see. That's my way of bringing back old school fitness. That's what I want. The relation between these tools and why it's traditional is because these are used by warriors as a sword, as a shield. They all do rotational movements. So these are practiced by them, and then it's just passed down to us, and we just lost it. I'm just bringing it back.
And you have a good following, and I hope it gets bigger, because you have a great message. And by the way, you have a great place there. It's attractive for people to see, and you've made your own body weight stuff there. And I like, because you do your own stuff. You made your own stuff, and you are outside, and I want also to promote this. That's why I brought you here, because there are other people with maces. My pleasure. There are other people with maces, but I don't intend to bring them on, because they are inside, closed, with only steel maces inside a dark room. I like a little bit of nature, man. I mean, fuck.
Nature.
Yeah.
No, but steel maces, I do have one. I do own 2 of them myself, because I like to collect this. I want to see what the world has to offer. I like to collect all the different tools. How is the feel? It's always good to learn. The whole thing is you have to keep learning. So I always invest in knowledge. It's always good. If it's going to teach you, invest in it, in a good way. And patience in something is what you need. Patience. Always patience. That's how we go. That's how we become organic. You want to see change? Be consistent, be patient. You will see it. So it took me 2 years now, and I'm still learning. I'm still patient. And I'm so patient because patience is something you need a lot, trust me. Especially if you're a teacher, You're saying you have many different clients with different backgrounds. Some are enthusiastic, some are fast, some are dramatic, but you have to be patient. You have to push them. You have to be with them. You have to make them do it, in a very fun way. Always. Patience is something you have to do. It's
Yeah,
always needed.
totally agree. This life is
Yeah.
a marathon with sprints.
Yeah.
Patience is pretty
Exactly.
much needed, if you want to,
Yeah.
to get the best of this life.
Yeah.
Anyways, so great to see you again, man, and great to see you basically for
Yeah.
the first time. And I
First
hope we
time.
talk
Yeah.
again in a year or so, and let's see
Yeah. In a
where
year,
we.
we'll see. I
Yeah.
have a lot of projects coming.
Oh,
It's going
great.
to be I'm going to turn this place into a boot camp, a fitness boot camp.
Awesome.
So a lot of
Yeah, I
people
would
will
love
be
to see
coming.
that. That's great. I hope the best, man. You do great stuff, so I hope that you spread the word there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Let's not
Yeah.
educate, but let's bring the ancient
Yeah.
wisdom.
Ancient wisdom. Let's share. Let's share,
Yeah, let's basically share it. Yeah.
knowledge. I
So
keep saying my thing. I post everything out there so people can see, get motivated to learn the technique. Come to me. You can
exactly.
buy one, you can try it yourself, but learn the technique. Come to me. That's the
Yeah,
thing. It's there. It's all out there for you.
yeah,
That's how I.
yeah. That
All
was
right.
great. Thanks for your time. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
Dean.